A viewer suggested something I should do here on this channel, and you know what? We're doing it. Not that I should do everything that is suggested just like that, but this idea interested me immediately. Why haven't I thought of this? I don't know. Because Big Shot and Mighty Ducks Game Changers are two sports shows about an underage team, and they came out 1 month apart from each other, so now that these two shows are still in fresh memory, we're going to let them battle in 8 different categories. So thanks for suggesting, Christian Brigand. Hi fellow Disney Plus watchers, this is Thoughts After a Disney Plus Watch, where we review everything new Disney Plus coming out, and I'm glad you're watching. So we're going to see which show is better by seeing which show wins using these 8 categories. Best team, best main or coach character, best or most charismatic duo, best cinematography or style, best soundtrack, best cohesion between episodes, best sports scenes, best ending. Some of you who followed my weekly reviews of all of these episodes of both shows might already suspect which show is probably gonna win. Doesn't matter, I'll try to leave my preconceived opinions at the doorstep, and although the outcome might not surprise you, it's still fun to talk about all these aspects. Without any further ado, let's do this. Best team. Now this is a tricky one. Both teams have good and bad characters. I would say, starting with Big Shot, that there isn't that much of a sense of a team, also because there are so much extras. Like literally 5 of them are main characters. I think we follow 8 characters in the Mighty Ducks and 5 in Big Shot. So in the show The Mighty Ducks, I feel like we got more team spirit present there. In Big Shot, it's more like Marvyn and the rest. You know, the story about Marvyn needing to prove himself to stay loyal to the team, it's kind of a different focus. But if we have to look at the team, I would say we follow more characters in the Mighty Ducks, and there's more narrative focus on that. So on team spirit, I would say the Mighty Ducks Game Changers wins the round. Best main or coach character. I really wasn't a fan of Gordon Bombay in the first half of the season. Now, I know what the story had going for it, a fallen hero on his first steps to redemption, but to me, Gordon felt such like a heartless bastard. He didn't feel organically grown into this role. It just seemed like a completely different character. After a few episodes, he grows into an honorable and supportive Bombay again, and he certainly has his redemption, just as planned. But okay, Marvyn Korn in Big Shot is a completely new character, so there's no older movies to cloud my judgment, but overall I think Marvyn was very consistent, and his journey from distrusting, egocentric Marvyn Korn to the man who turns down his breakthrough job in favor of his team. I think John Stamos is still very charismatic in this role, so is Emilio Estevez as Gordon Bombay though. I believe that will break even, but just for the consistency and surprising us with a solid original main character, this rounds for Big Shot. Best or most charismatic duo. I'm letting Marvyn Korn and Holly battle against Gordon Bombay and Alex to keep it simple and stay with the coaches and assistant coaches in these shows. Well, I do have to say the chemistry between Marvyn and Holly is very good. They play off each other nicely, kind of that shared sense of humor and some underlying competitiveness between them. But what they don't have, and that's not a criticism, but that is just something that makes Gordon and Alex that much more special, is a character like Evan between them. Alex is of course the mother of our main character, and she sees Evan growing into a better hockey player because of Bombay. So there's this interconnected relationship between Evan, Bombay, and Alex that makes it more special than a pretty straightforward coach and assistant coach relationship that Holly and Marvyn have. Also, the chemistry between Bombay and Alex is just really solid, felt very real to me, so this rounds for the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Best cinematography or style. This is something that might not be really fair. Like, if someone from the Big Shot crew is watching this, I get it. The Mighty Ducks probably had a bigger budget to have the specs and sets available to make everything way more cinematic than Big Shot is. Big Shot looks flat, like a TV show. This isn't a knock on it, right? It has everything to do with budget, but the depth of field, the colors, the feel of it all, Big Shot is kind of flat in all of this. Mighty Ducks has way more vibrant colors, and actually I mentioned this in one of my reviews too. The depth of these lenses are beautiful. Point to Mighty Ducks, because I do prefer cinematic looks over TV budget things, but again, I get why. Before we go on with the final 3, if you're new and one that can't get enough Disney Plus, this is the only channel that's specifically and absolutely only Disney Plus thoughts and reviews. Episode per episode, we all watch together. You'll have an idea what to expect. Click that button and that bell if you want to follow along. Thank you so much. Best soundtrack. I'll had to include this in the list, as I'm a sucker for listening to film scores and talking about them. Now, Big Shot is composed by Phil Eisler and Alexis Grapsas, boldly assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly, which names I never heard before, but that doesn't matter. The Mighty Ducks Game Changers music is written by John Debney, which is a very well-known name considering he worked on things like Iron Man 2, Elf, and Ice Age Collision Course. Now, both soundtracks are not released on any streaming, unfortunately, so I have to recollect this based on what I heard during the shows. Big Shot is very simple, some typical synthy television tune here, some light percussion there. It's not really noticeable most of the time. I do love the little short musical cue during the final game. It's way too short, but that's the fault of the show. But Really, Big Shot's soundtrack is not even a big element in the show, as it doesn't have a main theme, despite maybe boom boom chick, you know, the sound of a basketball thrown into the net that does return every week. Mighty Ducks Game Changers soundtrack is a little bit bigger in scale, it's a bigger orchestra, and it has the original theme to work with. You know the theme. Not many more themes stood out to me in particular, but I feel like the score contributed more to the story than Big Shot did. If the original soundtracks were released, I could do a whole 20-minute video about this, but that's just not the luxury we have. Have to give the point to Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Best cohesion between episodes. Both shows slowly but surely work towards the end goal, going to D2 in the case of Big Shot and working towards the state finals in the case of Mighty Ducks. Well, I believe we have to look at, does it keep track of this? Do you feel like the journey is consistent throughout? Well, I guess both shows do have their missteps, as some episodes are slowing the story down a little bit, like episode 7 Pond Hockey from Mighty Ducks Game Changers, and some episodes are rushing it, like episode 3 TCKS from Big Shot. So there's little episodes here and there in both shows that just drag it down or speed it up too fast. I guess Big Shot is the show that most often has a sense of rushing it, and then later on spending time on weird plot lines like Mouse and Harper and Destiny's family situation. I'm sorry, but this point also goes to Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Best sports scenes. I'm gonna be short about this. Ice hockey is more entertaining to look at, in my honest opinion. That's just something trivial the Mighty Ducks has going for it. Now still, I will be fair about this. This is still something Big Shot can win if the sports scenes were really exciting, but they just aren't. Often a little too short, and the game from the finale was also a really big letdown, and that was just under 2 minutes, and it was really jarring to find out that Westbrook won after making only one goal, like we only see one goal. So Big Shot, I couldn't really care about your sports scenes, sorry, point to Mighty Ducks. Best ending. I'm not even going to tease this one. Mighty Ducks' ending was way better than the ending we got in Big Shot. The really short final basketball game, the lame scene where the bees come in, and a final awkward title card, those things all didn't particularly help. It wasn't a terrible episode at all, but the actual ending was just somewhat underwhelming. The ending from the Mighty Ducks though, the flying V, the payoff after losing the state finals, but then playing for the honor of the Ducks title, and everyone gets their moment. It was a solid enough finale, and this point goes to the Mighty Ducks too. So there it is, Mighty Ducks earned 7 points and Big Shot only 1. It's funny because I did enjoy Mighty Ducks a little more, but not by that much. But if I really dig into it, I do see that Mighty Ducks is just, well, way better in execution. The difference between the quality of these two is bigger than I anticipated, in my honest opinion, of course. So it's really when you start to dissect it that Big Shot doesn't come out as well. This was, for me, an interesting experiment. Did you like it? I would love to hear some feedback, and I'm curious which show was better in your experience. Also, which show per category wins the round for you? It's all in the description. You can copy paste it in the comment section if you like. I'm thinking about doing the same thing with WandaVision, Falcon the Winter Soldier, and Loki together. Not sure though. Just a thought. Let's see where Loki is heading in the coming 2 weeks. But I'm thinking about wrapping this up. Did you like this video? Then all it takes is to click that blue little hand down there. Thanks. I will be covering the Mysterious Benedict Society and the Bad Batch this Friday. And thank you for watching. For now, have a wonderful day and see ya.